Hello, hello. It's Vina Chalice here from Dear Soul Conscious. I created this page initially as a way to document my process with channeling, with connecting with my spirit guides, my teachers, my angels, and also for me to have the courage to start speaking more light language. That's probably the weirdest thing about me. If there's anything about me that people want to know is that I speak light language. And I realized that a lot of my followers and the comments that I receive on TikTok have really been about wanting to learn how to speak light language. So this is what this video is dedicated to. Not necessarily me giving you the nuts and bolts of how to speak light language, because that's something that I also have to learn how to be able to teach. But I find that sharing my story and sharing my process as well may encourage you to find yours as well. If you are already finding yourself channeling languages, if you find yourself muttering different sounds and different frequencies and clicking sounds, or if that's something that you think is cool and you want to learn too. So to get started, I want you to understand that light language is the language from your soul. I know that sounds really elusive and hard to pinpoint, but essentially it's part of you. You have a soul, and your soul has an expression that wants to show itself and wants to reveal itself to you. Light language is one expression, simply because there is a frequency that is locked in with each sound, with each word, which is a unique soul print to who you are. So when you understand that everything is energy, everything is vibration, you begin to understand that light language is less about what you are communicating word for word in terms of information of what we say to you, like a dialogue, but more of a frequency that you're tuning into in terms of raising your vibration and speaking from your heart. Because your heart has a very strong vibration, the love frequency, the spiritual knowing that all is well. And the reason why a lot of people like to listen to me speak light language is because it calms them down, it chills them out. It's not just the sound, though, it's the frequency. It's the frequency. So when I began speaking light language, I started out not knowing what it was. I started not knowing what it was. What I realized is that in the body, you have a lot of tension, you have a lot of different memories, you have a lot of cellular memories that are locked inside you. I so happen to be one of the sensitive energy people, the HSPs, that's what they call it, the empaths, the clairsentients. So when I was getting a neck massage around my shoulders, I have a lot of tension around my neck and my shoulders. It not only unlocked something, it locked my soul expression. It unlocks my light language. And the back of the chakra, where the atlas bone is the gateway to your soul. It's a gateway to another gateway for you to explore your soul, explore another dimension in which you receive information to communicate. Maybe it might be information in the future, information in the past, information that perceives to instinctual knowing. It's not a coincidence that it's in the same center of the throat chakra, which is its expression. So that is the point in the back of my neck that started unlocking. And I can press it right now and I can show you. Gloop, 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 gloop. That every time, click, 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 I'm sensitive. Click, click, click. Every time I press a pressure point, with that, there's an expression that wants to come through. The soul expression. Divine gibberish is what I would like to call it, just because it just makes it easier for people to understand. So that's how I started speaking light language. I started by exploring the different pressure points in my body, simply because I know I'm an HSP, an empath. And so sometimes when I'm feeling something, I'm not just feeling physical like pain or tension or muscle. I'm also locked into the energy, the memories, the soul, all of that dimension, the dynamics of the mind, body, spirit. And that is what I started doing. So if you are already an empath, if you know you are clairsentient, if you know you are an HSP, then you might have an opportunity to unlock your light language because you're sensing into energies. Okay? The other thing that helped me become more fluid in my light language expression is by looking at people on YouTube that are also having the ability to speak light language. There's something about light language that locks in your mirror neurons to another speaker. So when I speak light language, if you follow your feelings and it leads to your throat, let it speak. If you loosen up a little, if you relax more into your body, typically, most people will feel discomfort, ticklish, tingles, or a feeling of calm. It's different for everyone, depending on where their mindset is. But you just hold on to that feeling. You hold it on. You make known to the sensations that are rising inside you. And if you feel something in your soul that wants to express, like a sound, you just let it do so. Glia, glia, glu, glu, s, shu, shu, glia, glia, kanana, gigi, gigi, glia, tuku. It doesn't have to sound like me. It's uniquely you. But what I mean by listening to me speak and accessing that feeling and that sensation in the soul that's kind of wanting to come out and express yourself, what I'm showing you is our connection. Light language has a soul connection. So if I speak light language and another person speaks light language as well, it's quite common. It's like a flock of birds chirping. If one bird chirps, the rest of the birds want to chirp. If one dog barks, the rest of the neighborhood dogs want to bark. If one light language speaker wants to speak light language in a room full of other light language speakers, the rest will sing in unison in chorus in their unique language. It's part of a mirror neuron. It's part of our brain, and we're kind of hardwired to know that we have a connection. So, Click, 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 if you follow that feeling, become more concerned with that feeling than the thoughts, than the doubts, than the nervousness, than the self-consciousness. Go beyond that point and dive into the sensation, dive into the energy, and know that as I speak light language and wherever you are in your soul journey, what's happening is you're clearing up those layers, those hardened energetic layers, that mental layers more of anything. Everything is very mental, that prevent you from letting go, from relaxing, from easing in, going straight to the feeling. This is the same thing as channeling, is you lock into a feeling and then you just let it take over. It's a language that is activated from my light body, from my energy body. You see, mind body connection is a big deal when you start feeling into things and when you start feeling into your soul. Are you able to channel? Are you able to channel light language? Anyone that is a light language speaker is also a channeler. We are actually all channelers. We all have psychic abilities. So that's kind of why I focused more in the beginning of launching my my course of unlocking your soul gifts, because it's the same concept of wanting to tap into your energy, wanting to tap into that feeling, that stream of source consciousness that wants to remind you that all is well. Except light language just feels more profound, more unique, simply because the delivery of what you hear is something that you can instantly feel. It's something you can feel because you remember. You're starting to remember. And when you hear people in this spiritual community asking you to tune in, to tap in, to remember, what they're really reminding you is that we're multidimensional beings having a human experience. We have a soul, and we may or may not have incarnated, but I'm going to lead you to decide that, because I want you to feel things. I want you to feel these innate gifts that are just lodged into your soul conscious. The reason why I call it Dear Soul Conscious is because I'm learning how to have a communication with my soul. And that's part of my subconscious mind, the things that I'm not quite aware of. But I want to make it more conscious, what my soul wants to share with you. Light language, channeling, messages from your higher self, connection from your spirit guides, the permission to know that all is well, the ability to feel into this vibration, the ability to speak light language. How I learned to speak light language came from understanding the connections between my body, my emotion, my thoughts, my feelings, but simplifying it even more to just sensing, feeling, not overcomplicating it with journaling and thoughts, and just letting things be and letting things express itself the way it wants to. So if I didn't want to express myself in English, then I just make sounds. But the sounds, the more I spoke it, the more it started to develop and became more elaborate, more beautiful, more interesting. Shukuluto talaga tayo, So for you light language speakers or people that are curious when it comes to light language, I think one of the fun exercises that you can set yourself to is to think of your favorite word, the word that just makes you feel giddy inside. Bubbles. Bubbles. It feels like a lot of joy. Bubbles. It's very explosive. Feel that vibration. And if you had the chance to make up your own word or to make up your own sound of what the vibration of bubbles. So think of the feeling you hear when you think of bubbles, or words like bedazzled, bodacious, just these are the words, you know the meaning, but then the exercise is the vibration. Lock into that vibration and then just imagine, feel like, what would your soul want to say if it wasn't bubbles? What's the vibration of it? What's the vibration? That's how I play. That's how I play. That's how I grow my light language vocabulary. Vibration. Another one. Let's think of words like safe. Safe. What is the feeling of safe? What happens to your body somatically when you imagine security? What safety feels like? That feels a lot more grounding, doesn't it? It feels like I'm in the sage energy. Right? Feels like I'm in the sage energy. Whereas joy is me feeling like I'm in the fairy energy. It's very high vibrational. I would almost say that it's not even my third eye. It's above it. It feels more like my crown chakra. Just like coming very high vibrational. I can't say root chakra, right? Like the safety, the it's not low vibrational, but it's more the earthy, the grounded, the rooted ones. So that is something you can play with. When I teach channeling, it's me being the student and taking the back seat and letting my guides speak through me, and me improvising and kind of connecting the different pieces as I go along on this journey, because I'm reverse engineering things so you are able to understand. Because in order for me to know my process and to share it with you, I have to first trust my process too. And that's the same for you learning something. You just got to go into it, dive into it. And that's what I encourage you to do. How I learned to speak light language started out as me recognizing that I'm a sensitive soul, recognizing that, yes, I may be unique in a sense that, if I get a massage, instead of just me being squeamish, I will also get visions, feelings of things of my past that just come up, imageries and feelings associated with that's just locked in, that just wants to arise and move through me. But the more I kind of looked at that framework, the more I had access to my soul truths, the more I had access to my soul memories, to that thing that everyone's like, remember, tune in, connect with your intuitive guidance, that well within you that's patient, that knows that all is well, that sage within you that knows that there is a divine plan, that knows that you are on a journey, that knows that there's a lot more in this meat suit of yours then you're sharing with yourself, and you need to find that so that when you move through this life, you feel like there is support. You feel like there is love. You feel like there is ease, there is guidance, and it's easy for you to have the focus of how you want to see this life, the focus of how you want to create this reality. So that's what I have to share with you. When I make these videos, it's never scripted. It's never staged. It's me being true to the moment. And I want you to be true to your moment and believe that when you practice light language, when you start playing with sounds and tones and you experiment, that there's no end goal. It's a process. It's experimentation. It's play. It's you forming a relationship, a bond with your soul expression. Soul expression. I started out with sounds, and then it developed into song. And remember, it took me 4 years to get to where I am now. Within the first 3 years is me being ashamed and self-conscious and being in the closet about it. It's not going to take as long as a journey that I had experienced for you to have the desire to speak light language, for you to let all these limiting beliefs and these fears and doubt just brush it off, because you're just experimenting. You're just making time to play, to explore, like, hey, what is this? What happens when I press this pressure point? What would this pressure point sound like? What happens if I say this word? What does it feel like, the vibration? And if I could make a language out of it, what would it be like? Your soul is going to guide you. Your soul literally wants to reveal itself to you. Your spirit guides, your higher self, literally, they want to reveal themselves to you. They want to make themselves known. They don't want you to suffer. They don't. They want you to know that you're loved. They want you to know the expansiveness of who you are, what you came here to do, and how to make the most out of life. So this is all I have to share for you today. And if you do want to learn light language, feel free to follow my channel. Feel free to listen to what I have to share when it comes to light language. Also, I encourage you to go on YouTube and let's see how, like, what other people sound like too, you know? And I think what I'm going to dedicate my time to is I'll probably dedicate 2 hours each week to start channeling and seeing how I can put together a series of frequencies that will help you dive into light language. If that is something you're curious about, then just shoot me a message and I'll add you to my email list, or I'm going to type it here. I'll just give you my email address, and then please tell me, like, what you're curious about, light language, what you are curious about your own journey, why you want to speak it, and I can start cultivating something that is relevant to get you to where you want to be. Okay? So that's all I have to share for now, and I will see you in the next video. Please remember that everything I do is less about the conversation and more about the vibration. Everything I do is more about the feeling, the intention. So as you watch my videos, start training yourself in that way to receive the messages more fully. Start training yourself in that way when you have conversations with people, that you're not just a bobbing head, blah, 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 talking, but you're also feeling into a person's intention, vibration, and the love, the connection. This is part of I guess you would say, the ascension process. It's part of developing your intuition. It's part of developing your psychic abilities. And you can do that. You can do that. You don't just need crystals. You just need to learn how to re-see your perspective. So that's all I have to share for now. And know that I love you guys. All is well. It's a soul journey. You've got this. You've got this. More to come tomorrow. Bye for now.